We draw to see where you're hunting.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting, but it was always kind of deal where if I didn't, when I was a kid, I didn't particularly like to hunt. I did, but I didn't hunt much. I like video games and inside and food. That really hadn't changed. It's had to some, but so if I didn't, it was always so funny for me. Like back then, if I didn't draw the stand that I wanted immediately, just just couldn't get over. We got going, drew the stand. So I drew. We actually did either we. So we have every stand has a number, or we do pick and order. So pick and order would be chips 1 through however many people we have. You draw your chip. If you get number 1, you get to pick what stand you go to. Sometimes we do it that way. Sometimes we do it by stand number. So we did pick and order. I drew 1. So I immediately said I want to go kill Simba, and I think Simba had been out in the daylight at this particular area 10 times in the last 14 days. So it was pretty good odds.
Early in the year, these deer get into their summer patterns, and I love to hit these feeders, even the bucks and the bachelor groups. And, they start coming in, late evening. They get in these patterns, and we've always had really good success the past few years. Opening day,
October 15th.
October 15th, the opening day it's a magical day. We're in the tree. It's opening day. Me and Parker were in the killing tree. Just October 15th. It's a little warm, but hey, opening day, you gotta like our chances.
Simba's in a bachelor group for $4. A couple deer that got some potential, a couple 3-year-olds and a 2-year-old, we believe. But you'll see, and they came out in, as they normally do, we believe, in age succession. And so on this particular, what?
That's interesting.
You disagree?
I don't disagree, no. But I've never really, I don't think that's a hard fact. But, you know, I think it typically.
To the food, early season bachelor groups. Early season bachelor groups. The dumber ones go first.
Yeah.
The meat shields.
Yeah.
As he stepped out, obviously I got very excited. I was also I was still, even though they are in that pattern, when you get, if you're familiar, especially early season, it's good. There's so many things when there's that many sets of eyes, especially male sets of eyes in the deer world, that can go wrong. So I decided the first shot I got, I was sending it. And so the deer was 35, shot the deer, and knew I'd got a pass through, knew it had gone through, and
Hang on, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's be real here. Why don't you tell what really happened after you shot?
What do you mean? I started second guessing everything.
Yeah,
It's just typical. Which is typical. Yeah. So my dad arrives on the scene shortly after and is ready to just. He just went. He hauled his deer out 20 yards, just hauled him out. And he's already got his deer, found his deer. Well, he obviously is excited. So y'all, I'm sure you're familiar, but it is. It's funny how your mind works. You're like, okay, if that one worked that way, then this one's going to too. So he wants to stomp out through there. So we look a little, but I just am very wary of looking. The deer doesn't bleed much.
Got it.
Parker's starting to doubt everything about it, but I suspect he's in these woods right here. We're fixing to go in right now. Oh gosh. Yep.
All right, here we go. Parker, give us an update real quick.
Just
Just brief.
All right, so
We got it on film.
so Forrest and I came this opening evening bow hunting, incredible so far. Dad drilled a really nice, at least 130-inch deer, mature deer. We've been hunting for, or we've had on camera his whole life, and the deer we were hunting tonight is named Simba. He's 10 point, and
What about Dad? Did you tell?
he
We already talked about that.
we just
Oh, my bad.
he came out. I gave him about, video's not great. I gave him less than 10 seconds, but I think I drilled him. So
We spend all this time getting these deer where we can shoot them, and then you shoot it in 10 seconds. We got a good.
We got a complete pass through. Arrow looks pretty good. Deer was quartering to us a little bit. Got blood right here coming in. We're gonna see if we can find this dude.
So obviously I'm shook up. That's the deer, because I was very excited about shooting the deer. And in the back of my mind, I was like, man, that deer. I hope the deer like quarter in two more than I thought. And so we go, and it's the blood is the arrow complete pass through, and the arrow is it's gutty.
I never did see him low, man. I just walked 50 yards in the pines and found him.
You see blood, Parker?
I don't see. There was blood right there.
I know, but we gotta get on the blood.
I'm getting nervous.
There. All right. So where was? Is that where the arrow was?
Yeah, that was. Look, there was blood on this leaf right here.
Well, it definitely went through. It came right through here.
Well, come here. This could have been.
Just splattered.
Yeah, it could have been where it came out of, because that's about where your arrow was, right, Parker?
Yeah.
It's definitely
He
blood.
wheeled.
Look.
Wait a minute, that. Yeah, that's blood.
Hey, come look over here.
Tell me something good now.
You know, he's dead. That's what's good. Look at that. Ricardo. Yes, sir.
Tell us about it. Golly, he's fine.
Well, you know, Parker, it was just like you said it was.
Was it?
What about you, bud? Good to see you.
He's a toad. Man, he's a toad.
He was just about as chilled out as he could be.
Was he?
Yeah, he didn't. When he was laying in the pine trees, he didn't really look like he weighed 200 pounds. He was starting to look more like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's an easy two.
You think?
I do. He's a short body, but I think he's still a stack. Man, he's fine, Dad. He is fine. All that character, and he's a brute, man.
That's why you call him Porky?
Yeah, and last year he had that port was bigger.
Anyway, Frog arrives on the scene, and immediately Petey picks up the blood trail like he normally does. And so we go out through this thicket, which is where a lot of these deer bed this time of year. And they kind of get out of there as the year goes on as far as bedding, I think. But they bed there this time of year.
It's interesting. It's a spot, and you may see it on the map here. It's a clump of hardwoods in the middle of these pines that we left, and these pines are 10 years old now, 10, 11 years old, and they've got to the point where it's clean underneath. Where it used to be just a thicket and deer bedded all in there. Now there's this clump of hardwoods. That's where a lot of these deer go in bed, just because the pines are so clean underneath.
Yeah. And so these particular deer is pretty clear and obvious, and we thought that's where they were bedding, period. It's kind of been a mecca there. It's a comfortable area for them. So Petey goes immediately about 200 yards, and then Petey yips, which is a terrible sign, because the only time the dog ever makes a sound is if the deer's still alive. But you can watch him on Frog's GPS. The dog is not moving particularly fast. And so you can tell he yips and he's got the deer bait up, but the deer is obviously heaving pretty bad. The deer's hurt because Petey appears to be right on him. Well, there's a large lake directly across
Old pit lake.
Across an old dummy line, old railroad, old gravel pit lake, and so we're looking. When we cross, we come out this lane, and I'm like, man, the lake's right there. And Frog's like, where? So we look on the GPS, and we look at the GPS. And in the middle of this lake, I kid you not, in the middle of this lake, Petey's GPS arrow is spinning in circles in the dead center of the lake. So Petey has, and Frog said it, evidently swam out after this deer in the middle of this lake, and it's drowning this deer on top of this deer, like jump on top of his back. And so Frog is freaking out, obviously, and I'm freaking out too. So everybody, the whole caravan, there's like 6, 7 guys there. The whole caravan goes back around. We're looking. So they finally make it across kind of this little slough across the dummy line to the edge of the lake, and there's Petey in the middle of the lake. It appears to be standing on top of the deer.
He's on top of the deer, yeah.
Yeah. So I hear all the screaming. I'm on the other side of the lake, so we immediately like, let's go get the boat. So we put our boat in and troll over to Petey, Frog, pick Petey and Frog up, go. We pick the deer up.
Our guessing, we didn't see it, but pretty sure what happened is that this deer hit the water.
The deer was hurting.
I think this deer would have died.
Yeah.
We probably would have never found him,
Yeah.
because we probably, without Petey, because we would have jumped him up and he'd have gone bed down somewhere we would have found him. But he was, it was a liver hit, and we saw we caught some liver, but Petey caught Simba swimming. He could swim faster than Simba.
Yeah. And
so caught him in the middle of this lake and drowned him.
I am like, thank you, Lord.
Oh, he
He just gifted it.
Absolutely fine.
is he? He's a good deer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boys.
I'd have shot him with my rifle any day of the week. You see him, Jeff?
There is Simba.
Look, guys.
Unbelievable.
Y'all hang on, okay? Hang on.
Absolutely.
We're going to need to get some weight off this thing first.
I'm going to just get it lined up.
There's the hero of the night right there. Petey is unbelievable. And there's his right-hand man, Frog. Unbelievable.
And there's Simba.
And there's Simba, who Petey drowned to death.
Yes.
I gut shot him. I'll say it on camera.
I figured it.
Called Frog, called Petey, and Petey then immediately got on the blood, took off. Heard Petey a couple times, which usually means he bayed him up, right?
Yeah, bayed twice.
He bayed twice, and then we're going and he looked down, and Frog looks down at his GPS, and Petey's in the middle of the lake, and he's kind of swimming in circles. So Frog knew. He said, man, he's got him bayed in the lake. And so sure enough, we caught up with Petey, and the deer was dead as a doornail in the lake. And Petey found him, man. I'm super appreciative and thankful. And this is actually second really nice deer in 2 years for me that Petey has resurrected as far as finding him. So, man, I'm super appreciative, super thankful, and just awesome bow kill, in my opinion. I don't think it gets much better than that in Marion County. So, thank you, Frog.
Petey, you the man.
So, you know, I think our video quality, I think we're learning. I think it wasn't ideal, but the story is incredible. And I think it's such just a testament to, you know, Petey drowning that deer, us recovering that deer. I mean, I just think that obviously there's so much supernatural, there's so many supernatural dealings, and I think God, there's no doubt that obviously God led us to finding this deer, recovering this deer. I mean, you can't say, I mean, the deer will swim in the lake and the dog drowned him and we recovered the deer. It's just incredible. And I think one of the best parts for me is just that, yeah, the harvesting and the management, but just that, just the pleasure it is, the joy it is to harvest an animal. The blessing it is to harvest an animal, obviously to eat it, ate it the next day watching college football, but just the connection, the natural connection, the spiritual connection I feel, you know, deer hunting, obviously, as you'll see or as you probably already know, I love to duck hunt, and yes, it's about harvesting an animal, yes, it's about that rush and that intense rush, but it's also about that connection. That spiritual connection, you know, in the stillness, but also, I'll be honest, that spiritual connection in the harvest. I think, you know, I think it's sad if you can't, but if you can't, you know, if it doesn't well something up inside of you, and I tend to get emotional at times over different things, and with me harvesting, but especially when I watch other people take it in and watch other people harvest an animal and have the opportunity to kind of experience that, you know, it's unbelievable how God continues to teach me, continues to mold me, and how much of that has been out in the wild. And so, yeah.
Absolutely. Romans chapter 1, verse 20 says, "For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made." And it goes on to say, "So they are without excuse." And I love that verse, and I think that really sums up what you're saying, Parker.
Yep.
And you know, that we could get out in creation and be a part of creation while reflecting on the Creator. And you know, it's just a reminder of that relationship that we're able to have with Him.
Yep.
Because that's what it's all about. Because of Jesus, we were able to experience His grace, and you know, I experience it as clear as anywhere a lot of times when I'm out in His creation and enjoying, you know, just being able to have that communication with Him with no other distractions except for the things that He has created. And there's so many times that it just takes your breath away, whether you're in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, an elk view going right down the mountain. Or,
yeah, you'll see in that video, but that was unbelievable.
Or, you know, and something we're, you know, get to experience a lot more being in the Porter Swamp and seeing just a majestic looking, mature whitetail buck, you know, coming through the woods or stepping out. And it's just a reminder to me of just the glory of the Creator and just what an awesome God that we serve. And so, yeah, I mean, we love to hunt, we love to manage, we love to, you know, spend time chasing these deer and get caught up in it and get this adrenaline rush. But that's the real, you know, blessing behind it all.